Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the Python Fundamental series. In this video of Chapter 3, we will continue our exploration on Python functions. Let's get started. In the previous videos of this chapter, we talked about how functions work in Python, and in this video, we're going to be exploring two of the more advanced things that we can do with Python functions, which are default input values as well as keyword arguments. First off, default input value. In some scenarios, it is ideal for us to assign default values to the parameters of a function. If we take a look at this cell, we can see there's a function called greeting from planet. It takes one parameter called planet, and depending on that input, a customized string will be outputted onto the screen. If I call greeting from planet with the parameter input of Earth, then you can see hello from planet Earth printed out. We can also give the planet input a default value. Here we can see the same function defined, the only difference being that planet has a default value of Earth. And the way how we do this is we write the name of that input variable, and then the equal sign, and then the default value that we want to assign. In the case where we do not pass in an explicit parameter into the function call, then the default value of that parameter will be used. If we do pass in an argument when calling the function, then that would be used as the variable. If I run this cell, you can see hello from planet Earth printed out because the default value was used here, and hello from planet Mars printed out because Mars was passed into the function call. When we want to assign a default value to function's parameters, we can do that in the function's definition. If a function has a default value for one of its parameters, then we don't need to pass in a value for that parameter when calling the function, and the variable will be assigned the default value. If we do pass in a value in the function call, the default value will be override, and the value that we pass in will be used. Next up, we're going to talk about keyword arguments in Python functions. In the functions that we've seen so far, the order in which we pass in the arguments in the function call matters. Here's an example. If we have a function called func that takes three parameters, input 1, input 2, and input 3, and it prints out the three strings concatenated to each other, and let me just real quick define that, and then if I call the function with the parameters Python is and great, you'll see Python is great printed out just like we wanted to. On the other hand, if we forgot the order in which the parameters came in the definition, then I may mistakenly put great, is, and Python in the function call. And that would give us a string that doesn't make much sense, which we do not want it to be like this. So the order in which we pass in the arguments in the function call determines which function variable gets assigned which value. So in functions with many parameters, we can use what we call keyword arguments. Here's an example. We use the same function as before, and we put the name of the variable in front, and then an equal sign, and then the value we want to assign to that particular variable. And the same thing for input 2, input 1, and if I call this function, we can see Python is great because input 3, which we can see is up here, has the value of great, input 2 has the value of is, and input 1 has the value of Python. So that will give us Python is great. Keyword arguments are really useful when we don't remember the order in which the parameters came in the function definition, or when a function have default parameter values, so we don't need to pass in all the parameters to the function call. And to real quick just summarize the lesson today, we talked about default input values and keyword arguments. And that's it for this video. In the next video, we'll be wrapping up this chapter with a fun project where we will be using our newfound knowledge on functions. With that said, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you then.